Hello, it's Matthew, or with Amnesia here, and basically I have another video, and this is about another dungeon, well, one that's not in World of Warcraft, but it's in the pen and paper version of World of Warcraft, kind of like the Dungeons and Dragons clone, I suppose. And the whole meat of this content is that it's supposed to be, well, not supposed to, but it exists within the world of World of Warcraft, but not in the game. So this is more something I was interested in doing. And the audio is a bit not that great because the heater's on. It's like at night, it's cold, so it's like either I freeze my ass off for 20 minutes or 30 minutes, or yeah, it just whatever. Right? So why I'm here is that in the RPG it says in the north of Dustwallow Marsh, and after there's this hideout of these people plotting against Jaina Proudmoore, the one who assassinated her, right? Because Dalen Proudmoore was, his men didn't like Jaina and they wanted to usurp and go and take over the, I don't know, basically attack the Horde stuff, right? Like what they're doing before. But, defectors, kind of what the quests in Dustwallow Marsh deal with, right? The defectors, right? Kind of deal, but different take. And they make a deal, these defectors, with the Black Dragonflight to get resources, so that they'll eventually move to basically out of the marsh, Dustwallow Marsh, into basically the Horde lands, right? But the Black Dragonflight are nefarious, so they want to pull the strings, I guess, right? Anyway, so it goes into detail the source material, that is, about where it is, and there's 3 possible locations. It says north, and on the edge of Dustwallow Marsh is the hideouts. But the map has the cave facing into, like, going into left-facing mountains. So basically here, right? Actually right here, because there's a bit of a specific little bit of so basically here, and up here, which is in the mountains up north, where I think it is, or along here. But for most of the reason I'll show at the end of the video, why these locations aren't very good, but this one's the best. Anyway, so go around here. This is a north, whatnot. It's also you have to trek through the marsh, for example, right? That's why. Well, this isn't central. These aren't trekking through the marsh, and this is. All right, so you go up north here. You trek north. This is pretty close to that. You have to go through marshes, right? So it's on the edge of the marsh also, which is in location, but nothing really exists in World of Warcraft. Here it's just blank. So maybe it was just, because the book was written in 2005, so perhaps it was just made up for the book, the source material. It's actually from the Alliance guide, Alliance Player's Guide for the pen and paper RPG or whatever. Right? So it's easy to write things and draw things and to make it in game. I understand that, and then ship with some unique things, I suppose. For pen and paper, because you could do that, right? Better, whatever. But there is a cave here, but it's just full of spiders. And I actually got a broken blade of heroes out of the chest. It's weird. Doing research for this video, walking around here, whatnot, and looking at these areas, and you could put the cave here if you wanted to, but I think it's better suited here because it's more north. It's kind of like empty too. If you look here, it's kind of a bit of a barren land. There's bush over here. It's not really related, but there's some things that are, I guess one of the devs was like up late and just well, this is floating in the air, right? So everyone has late nights, I suppose. But yeah, so this would be probably the entrance location. Then probably actually somewhere in here, either right there, as my guess, or up over this hill. But no, I wouldn't have much room there. So probably right there, the mountain facing there. So it says it's a wide cave. So there's basically humans, defectors, mages. There's some soldiers, and there's some Black Dragonflight helping out in the background. So that's that for the WoW video, pretty much. Alright, this is the source material, or the World of Warcraft RPG. This is from the Player's Guide of the Alliance, So, this is the dungeon that I think is supposed to be up in the north of Dustwood Dungeon. Well, it's mentioned in the RPG, right? In the hills north, on the edge of the Dustwallow Marsh, right? And so, supposed to go through a bit of swamp and bogs and whatnot to get there, so it best fits the description, right? of where I showed you earlier, right, the first part there. But yeah, so just to save you a bunch of well, you could read this all on the side here, but it's quite it's supposed to be abbreviated to the point, you know. So up here, right, you go in here, and there's a dude, like it's basically a soldier, right? And this is like a stable area. These are dirty kind of rugs, right? One of them has a trap, supposedly in the thing. I don't know how you handle that. Maybe he's a hunter dude. They're all humans. It's basically soldiers who have a sword and they like to fire a bow first, right? Or shoot a bow, I should say. Fires for guns, or loose an arrow, I should say more. But they tend to shoot, and you know, when they can, and they go and attack. So maybe it's a little bit of scripting or whatever. You know, I don't know. Anyway, go in here. These are about 15-foot ceilings. They're big. It's a big proper cave, right? Go in here, and go in the first room. Here is basically like almost like an alchemy lab. In a sense, it has like two mages. One's offensive, like shooting offensive spells, and one's a defensive, putting like everyone giving armor and whatnot. So it's almost like two bosses, right? Two mages, you could say, right? And this is you go through down here. This is like a locked storage area, so maybe put like a chest in here, especially like some barrels of wine, some food, whatnot. I mean, some food crates and water barrels, whatever, right? This is a kitchen. There's like a big table here. Some guys here, maybe like a kitchen boss or something. There's a guy cooking, a guy on the table, and in source material. And here is this is called like the refuge, or basically like there's rotten there's a bunch of bodies in here, right? Just think of like there's like cows, there's like raptors from the area, there's like bits of spider legs, there's a dwarf in there, right? So the quest above is supposed to be, this is why it's called the gift for the bride, is that the whole idea starts off with there's a big wedding and there's a assassination plot for Jaina, and then these guys try to go out and assassinate Jaina, and it fails. Basically like explosion, I guess. And the bride gets killed, and like, oh god, you know, and there's a dwarf gone missing, and you find him in here, and quest and whatnot. So you find his like little ring or something on his body, and there's like you know, later on you find more parts of him, and you can basically handle those. I guess it would be quest rewards, I guess, like find the ring, and like, or maybe like there's a ring you can click on and find it, whatever, and bring it back. I don't know how it works. The quest related, right? Because it's a dead body, smells really bad. Maybe have like an undead boss, like an undead raptor, I suppose, or something, because there's necromancers around here. They're using like the little thing that exploded was basically this little idol, a black obsidian like or onyx dragon statue thing, which is like charged, it was spent, so it's basically just doesn't use it. Anyway, necromancy, maybe like a dead raptor or something. It's not in the source material, but you know, a bit more. Warcraft's always about character and fun, that type of stuff, right? And here is like a study, basically like mages, right? And they're like complaining about the failed whatever mages in here, and this is like a little shelved area, right? It has like shelves, whatnot. So maybe some more mage fight going on there. This will be another mage boss, I suppose. You go in here, and it just opens up a bit, and here's the sleeping quarters, by the way, right? This is like the ghetto sleeping quarters for like the soldiers and whatnot. It's just kind of not much going on. There's some chests, maybe some foot lockers for rogues, you know, open up. I don't know, or just basic ones, whatever, does not be locked down. It doesn't matter. Then you go in, just nothing. And this is like the mages sleeping quarters. So yeah, so I guess this might just be like, I don't know, maybe like if you really wanted to, you could add bosses in here, I suppose, but maybe just add like one in the mage quarter, or maybe a soldier, who knows, whatever, right? So I guess maybe like mini bosses drop like, yeah, just throw boss in. There's like the soldier places, and this is like where the mages are, right? This is really fast and loose, but being quick with this, right? So people at the card are playing cards over here at the table. It's a table, by the way, and they're like playing cards. In the source material, you can like negotiate, not negotiate, but you can interrogate, I should say, with if you capture the person here. I think it's Shannon, I think his name's a weird name for whatever. And they go, yeah, they tell you all the beans, right? So maybe maybe you can like have like a thing you can loot off or something, right? You can go back and tell her about things. I don't know. But mage, the Shannon, you know, fights, whatever, right? So maybe like a Shannon boss. I guess definitely a mage boss in here. Maybe a soldier boss in there, I guess. And here is like the sleeping quarters, I guess, for the main guy. And it has like there's one guy in here. So I don't know, maybe another boss if you really wanted to. But they're supposed to like little like chests, not chests, but like this is like a private little storage place. I guess you would have like a chest in there, right? It's kind of secret though, because it's kind of hidden behind like a, whoops, behind a what are they called? Like a wall rug, I suppose. Yeah, there we go. And yeah, so it's big ass for what do they call, post bed, you know? And this is beds all strewn about. So that's pretty much it. This it's not like super great detail, just like a dank cave more or less. It's like beds everywhere. And then you go over here, and this is like a big fire pit, right? This is a big fire pit, and there's just like one person in here. Nothing really going on. There's a battle axe hanging up, of a great axe, I should say, like big great axe of the dwarf that's in here. He's basically got beat up and thrown in there, the dwarf. So his great axe is here, and so in the RPG source material, you can turn in the body for like 200 gold. It says basically a reward. The ring on his, like, you know, hanging by a necklace on the dwarf's corpse for like 50 gold. The battle axe is like 100 gold. So maybe the battle axe will be a reward in itself. Maybe hand in the battle axe and they give it to you, or something I was thinking of, right? Maybe you can like pick maybe the battle axe or the ring, or maybe get both of them or something. I don't know. Or maybe like some type of like other item. So maybe like a DPS one, a tank one, and a caster one. I don't know. Hard to tell. Maybe like a caster one's like a trinket or something dwarven like that over an iron forge. You know, they give back to you. Oh, it's quest material for alliance at least, right? Or maybe you could just loot the, I don't know, the battle axe. A whole bunch of things you could do with this, right? So maybe there's a boss in here. I don't know. Maybe draw. You could do whatever. So it's like a fire thing, right? This is supposed to be the what's the guy's name? He's in here somewhere. So you can scroll down here. It's not being boring, I guess, all the words. But here's supposed to be main boss, whatever. But kind of. This is kind of like the not quite main boss. There is where is he? Anyway, it's a big. Where is he? Yeah, Shalrath? Yeah, Shalrath is the one you fight, and Madigan is the bigger one pulling the strings in the background, which this guy, he's basically actually human, disguised as a high elf, is getting resources from, right? So Magadan, or Madigan, or Madigan, whatever, is pulling the strings. You don't actually see him in the dungeon, I guess. Maybe you can change, I don't know, but Shalrath is in the dungeon. You fight, that's the end boss. It's basically like a quadruped, dragonoid type of dragonkin type of thing, black dragonkin. The thing at Upper Blackrock Spire where you fight, Upper Blackrock Spire where you fight the big Dracosath, whatever, the big four. It's basically that thing, but a female version, right? It's the end boss. Anyway, so back to the dungeon here. Scroll up. Yeah, here we go. So. Sorry if it's a bit boring, I just kind of get all the details across more. It's more like, almost like not like a dev video, I guess, but whatever. But, yeah, so this is basically that, like, big black, dragonoid type of room, suppose, right? But they're not in there. It's actually over here, but I'll get to that later. But in that little fort. But, so you can maybe do something here, I guess. Or maybe you could, if you really wanted to. You could add, if you want more bosses, just for the sake of things, you could add, what was that name? I can't remember. Bad with these names again. I always forget the names, you know. Like, I go through this. What's the name here? This guy's a weird name too. This guy he's actually called like what the fuck is it? Robe something. Robed Ron or something. What's his name? I can't remember. Where is it? What is this guy's name here? Yeah, Rober Ron. That's the main boss. Anyway, where is it here? The name is Shalrath. There we go. Shalrath is like the lieutenant or lieutenant of what was it again? I can't remember. This is why I'm supposed to have notes, whatnot, so it's like not so all over the place. I can't remember what the name is. I just saw it here. It's just here before, right? So there we go. Madigan. Okay, Shalrath, Madigan, and Roberon. Okay, those are the main guys. So you have Shalrath, I guess here if you want extra bosses, right? Shalrath here, you'd have Roberon or Sky Cathantal or whatever the guy's name is, the basically the figurehead, you know, the puppet on a stick, human made. Basically, I guess you'd fight him as like you're supposed to talk to him really. First off, like, oh hello, we have more reinforcements coming in, so you just give up now, surrender, and then while the big dragon kin thing sleeks into the back. So maybe it ought to be in the back already, but it says, oh, hello, we have more forces going to come in and reinforce. So you basically attack him. Starts off as an elf, I suppose, like a high elf in disguise, casts some things and whatnot, you know, and then I guess he gets low health and turns into the human and dies as a human, I suppose, as Rober Ron, you know, and the guise is up kind of thing, right? And then you fight Shalrath, the worm king, piece of quadruped black dragon with a, and she fights with a great sword. There is a masterwork, I think, spear and masterwork short sword in there, right? So I guess these could be like those are kind of like die 20 terms, like almost like clone versions of Dungeons and Dragons for like good quality weapons. It's probably like blues, so probably have like a great sword, a spear, and a short sword drop. Maybe some cloth gear, I suppose. I don't know. Or maybe this guy would drop cloth gear, so it wouldn't really matter. Anyway, but so that'd be the dungeon, more or less, right? And if you really wanted to, you could have Madigan or Madigan right in the back here. Make this, you know, somewhat, I guess, you know, Madigan would be here, and maybe the thing would fall off, fight, whatever, right? So you could have Madigan if you really wanted to. I have a quest for Madigan later on somewhere, but you could have Madigan in here, Shalrath in here, because kind of like what would be in Shalrath's chambers without Shalrath. It kind of seems weird. Anyway, so maybe if you really want, you could have up to just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 boss encounters, right? Or you could really reduce it just right down to like well, these are 2 people, whatever. So 1 encounter, 2 encounter, 3 encounter, 4 encounter, 5 encounter, and 6 encounter. You could do that. So anywhere from 6 to 11. So, but I'd probably go for 11, just how I am. So maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I'd probably do 11 bosses, because you can skip some of them. You don't have to do them, because look at the good layouts. Basically, you can just go right down here and skip it if you want to, right? So I would go into more detail about the rooms, but it didn't really give much. It's basically just like what you expect, like a 15-foot ceiling, kind of undulating, and looks like this. And doesn't really go into detail. Maybe just here is just what it says. It was just about just death, refuse. It wasn't like the crapper. It was just like where all the dead gnawed on stuff. Also, forgot to mention down here, it's supposed to be like gnawed on bone stuff. It's basically like gnawed on like leather, corpses, these type of things, right? So where you find Shalrath, I suppose. So I guess if you want to make the super version, like everything included, the deluxe package, you'd have like some quests where you go, like you can just go in here if you really wanted to, right? Either way, like just go into the entrance, because in World of Warcraft you kind of want players just to hoard alliances to come in here and have the best experience you can. So you just have probably Matadan, whatever the guy's name. The guy pulling the strings probably has an end boss. You don't really see him very anywhere else if I'm not mistaken. You have Shalrath here as a kind of an intermediary thing. It's supposed to Shalrath for the end boss, but kind of, I don't know. You could do the quest later on, but there's Nixie already, so, you know, it's whatever you could do, right? So, I should really make, like, little picture things, little snippets, or little, infographics with, like, little, boss loot table things, like, maybe, like, the drops and whatnot, like, basically, like, a mock dungeon, like a next step of dungeon. Maybe I can do it retroactively, where I can throw it into like, I can do like the dungeon things. I'll do it like on DeviantArt, and I'll just put like loot drops, I suppose, in each boss, what they kind of look like in model viewer, I guess. And as things go on, maybe we'll do it in advance, I guess, for make these videos better. Always improve and iterate, right? Try new things. Don't just be complacent, that type of thing, right? So yeah, so anyway, this is the end of the video pretty much. For this part, I'll show you some extra bits later on for extra cave entrances is coming up here. But that's just the dungeon. It's pretty simple. You could kind of make it, you know, just up to 11 bosses, I guess, and have some treasure chests. It wouldn't be all that bad, you know. Up in Dustwallow Marsh, this cave is pretty simple. You get some paint. You just go and just model up the cave and just throw some cave textures on it. Put some existing bosses in there and make some new items and some quests and bug test it and be good. You know, sounds simple, but just need the proper resources, that's all. So yeah, or whatever, and yeah, it'd be good. And yeah, that's well, yeah, that's it. Anyway, so here's the extra content. Here's another possible location for the dungeon, more or less. There's kind of trees and crap in the way, and it's not really ideal. You see on the map here, I'm up right up here. If you look at the contours of the cave earlier, you'd see that it kind of fits. Also, there's that cave down there, but it's already occupied. And there's up here, right? So if you go along the coast, not coast, but the mountains, I suppose, up here, the vacant areas, up here, there's some areas, but it could go, but it's kind of not really north. It's kind of northwest, I suppose. It's not really ideal. So as you see here, it's kind of weird, and there's trees and stuff growing everywhere. We have to remove stuff, and it wouldn't really be, I don't know, ideal or something. You could put it here, I guess, but it's kind of northwest. It's kind of a weird area too. There's already spiders around here anyway, so it's not very ideal. So yeah. Here's another location possible. As up in this here, right on the edge and kind of to the north of Dustwallow Marsh. I don't really like this area too much. Like over up in the mountains is better, more suits the description better, but it's also a possibility. It's like third or second place, I would say. See, it kind of fits. It's just kind of weird and janky to get to. It kind of, you know, it's a pain in the butt, really. But, dismounted. Anyway, but, you see, this is like extra content, you know, it's just showing just other things. I could just leave this out of the video, but whatever, right? So, you could put it, like, in there, I suppose. Get a better perspective here. You could put it in there, like right here, but it's kind of weird, or up there. It's kind of weird to get to, and kind of, yeah, it is on the edge of the swamp, but, or marsh, but this doesn't feel right. I think that area I showed before is superior. Anyway, this is the end of the video. I guess, take care, have fun, and until next time, see you later. This is with Amnesia, or Matthew, signing out. Bye for now.